Diddy getting rejected.
Why are you looking at me stink?
I'm looking at you. I'm not even...
You look like you got an attitude.
I don't got no attitude. I'm good.
Taz, because you're trying to be funny.
No.
Anyways,
You? Nah, I'm not gonna lie.
What we seeing right now?
She passed me, but I'm gonna give you a smash. Psycho on! Pass!
Rate me.
0.
0?
0. You
Out
deserve
of?
it.
0 out of?
0 out of 0. You deserve it. Which
0
one?
out of 0? Okay, so I'm a perfect 0. Alright, date me?
0.
Date me?
No, with the 0 at the end. N0. No.
Alright, kiss me?
No.
Why not?
Because your breasts stink.
Who am I here with?
Sky.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, so my question is, you got a Valentine this year?
No.
Do I look good enough to be a Valentine this year?
Sure.
It's cool if I get your number or not.
You got my Instagram. It's okay, friend.
You said friend.
Yeah.
Alright, got the horses in the back. Alright, listen, does height matter in a guy?
Of course.
Of course?
Most definitely.
Most definitely?
Yep.
So what's a good height in a guy? Give me a number.
For me, I'm 5'9", so 6'3".
6'3",
Yeah.
at least?
The least.
Am I valid? I'm like 6'3".
Oh, no.
No?
You're definitely not 6'3".
Okay,
you
bet.
know damn well you like 5'8".
So can I get your phone number?
No.
You want to take a spin around the block?
No. Sorry. Didn't make the cut.
The question I'm gonna ask you is, if I was a guest in your house and we had no electricity, no power, how would you entertain me as a guest?
I wouldn't do shit.
Be quiet.
So I would like to make a toast to Daniel.
Toast.
You know, we've been together for a long time, Daniel, and I really got something I want to ask you because I love you so much. Okay?
Chill.
Daniel, I love you so much, and I just want to know.
Get out! Yo, what you doing? You gonna do my daughter like that? I'll kill you!
Whoa, look, that's hard to see. Truthfully, it actually really hurt me to see that happen to people who are just trying to get to know you. Rejection is real, y'all. It's real, y'all. Mr. Leon the Lion here, and I want to thank you for joining me. But let's talk about that, what we just saw. The reality is rejection is real, right? People get rejected all the time. But let's deal with the facts. The facts are men are constantly rejected ever since we're little boys. We always get rejected. So we used to the process of having to put ourselves out on the line, even to the point where we embarrassing ourselves only to get rejected. That's a fact. See, little girls are always approached until they become teenage girls. Y'all still are going to get approached by a man. They want to get to know you. They want your number. They want to go out with you. They want to have a relationship with you. You have the power as a girl, as a teenager, and a lady to say, nah, you ain't good enough. You understand? Men don't have that. We hope that we're good enough to earn the privilege, as y'all would say, to get your number. All right? And to get to go out with you. You see what I'm saying? And the reality is, girls, no matter if, there are 2, 3, or 4, or even a 5, still have the power to say no. Just like a 7, 8, 9, and 10. But men, unless they're 8, 9s, and 10s, where they have women constantly rushing them to get to know them, you know what I mean? Because they're pretty boys. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on that. But the reality is they have the ability to reject women because they have women that throw themselves to them. But the reality is most average guys have to go through rejection after rejection after rejection. You know, this is why you find so many lonely guys, so much more than you find lonely women, because guys are constantly getting rejected, and as a result, they say, that's it, I'm giving up. You know what I mean? I'm not good enough, so I'm just not even going to bother approaching women anymore. And this is where online dating has become a big thing right now, because guys are afraid to approach a woman in person, so they're rather doing it online behind the screen of a computer or their cell phone. You follow? So that's where we have this disconnect, where you see rejection by women towards men more than you ever will see rejection by men toward women. You follow? So when we see a woman who is willing to put herself in a position to propose to her lover, to propose to her fiance, let's just say, you know, and embarrasses herself when he turns around as a side chick, you know what I mean? Which is a dog shitty thing to do, to be honest. I don't support that at all. You know, and embarrass her in front of everybody like that, when men really would want a woman to approach us like that, to really show us you really interested and into us. You know, this man had to ruin it and have a side chick, and the audacity to have a side chick right there. You know, her father's in the house and he got a side chick right there sitting right next to her, well, where the proposal took place. Yet and still, this man didn't have the maturity or the masculinity or the, you know, the strength to say, look, honey, let me pull you to the side and let's have this conversation. Let's not do it in front of everybody. He had to pick up, grab his side chick's hand and walk out the door. You know, that's a bitch move. You know, I'm gonna even say that's a bitch move. But understand that a lot of men go through that every day in public, putting themselves out, getting on one knee, proposing to their fiance or to the woman in their life, only to be outward rejected, you know, without understanding why. You know, when they might tell you that they had no inclination, they had no idea that this woman didn't feel that way about them based on how things were going in their own relationship. But yet they get rejected when it comes time to being the gentleman to propose to them, you see. And it's not that a woman should accept a man that she really don't want to have that type of long-term relationship. But I ask the question, where are you going with your relationship with a person if your intentions are not to marry them eventually or to settle down with them? Why are you constantly dating? What's the purpose of dating, folks? You got to be getting something from dating. If it's not monetarily, if it's not sexual, if it's not, let's say, friendship, okay, or companionship, what is the purpose of long-term dating? I'm talking year after year after year. What is the purpose of that? Ultimately is to be married, right? To have some communion or unity together that bonds you, you know, for many, many years to come, even build a family. If that's not your intention, ladies, why are you leading men on like that? Leading the men on to the point where they're getting on one knee to embarrass themselves in public without having an explanation as to why, confused as to why you walked off. I thought you were into me like that. Why are you giving me mixed signals? And that's the problem that men have, and which is why men are starting to fall back, because we don't want to have to be embarrassed over and over and over again and rejected. But now more and more women are starting to see what it feels like to be rejected by men, because men have had enough of that. You know, we've had enough of that. I'm not talking about a genuine rejection where man just isn't into you. Maybe a woman ain't into you. You know, maybe you don't fit her criteria as a man. Maybe you're not up to her standards. I'm not critiquing that. You're entitled to reject a man that is really not your flavor, right? You have every right to say no to a man if you're really not interested in that man for whatever reason you choose. That is your right as a woman. But what I'm saying is, if you're in a relationship with a man Why are you rejecting this man if he's proposing to you? If you've been with this man long enough, y'all been, be giving each other those, what I call long-term commitment cues. Why all of a sudden to change your heart? Because a lot of times when reality sets in, what happens is women start realizing, oh man, this is about to get real serious. And they just start, thinking to themselves, I don't know. But it's just wrong, right? Men get rejected all the time in the streets. We have to deal with it. Even from women who you would think should say yes to a man who is asking for their number or asking for their contact or DM or whatever, right? The problem is that some women feel so entitled that they could say no to any man at any time because they feel they can do better. Hypergamy at its worst. Women always want to marry up and get a man that's one step above them. Nothing wrong with that. The problem becomes when you feel so entitled, even with your imperfections, that no man is good enough for you on your level, right? Or a man who's even one step above you is not good enough. You looking for the 10% of men to lock down, and these 10% of men ain't looking for you. Not even close, right? This is the problem we have in society with men and women. Women are looking for Prince Charming, and everybody understands Prince Charming is far and few and in between. 10%. 10%. And if you're a 5 chasing a man who's an 8, 9, and 10, as I said in another video, you got 8, 9, and 10 women who are also chasing that 8, 9, and 10. What chance do you have? You might just be a sex toy for a moment, a sexual experience, but he ain't trying to wife you. You need to stop rejecting the men that are in your class, men that are in your status, right? You gotta stop it. So I feel bad for a lot of the rejection that goes on. I myself have faced rejection, but the reality is I hadn't faced much of it only because I was never really someone who cared, or was out there, trying to meet 1,000 women. I was never that guy. I was way too busy. I was about my business, just like I am today. I'm still about my business. I don't chase women. I just don't. I never have. I never will. And I'm not bragging about it. I just don't have the energy to do so when I'm trying to still build my empire. Whatever that empire might be, even if that empire is something that is small by your standards, it's still mine. You see? So I don't chase women. Not that I'm not, I think I'm good enough, or I'm too good, I should say. But it just means that you have to know where you are. I always told you I'm average at best. I'm cool with that. I don't struggle. I don't fight. I don't wrestle with that reality. Some men do. I don't pretend to be what I'm not. I accept it, so I'm free. I'm beautiful in my own skin, in my own way. And you should be too. But don't get discouraged if you're rejected. Move on. Move on. You are good enough. It just might not be for everybody, but it wasn't meant to be that way anyway. Right? All right. With that said, Mr. Lee on the line, I want to thank you for joining me in this video. Hit those thumbs up, like and subscribe. Until the next time, stay focused, stay true.